don't understand cats, you would never understand Kanye West. It is the most complex. It's the most complex thinking.
Like, I'm a gay bipolar Jew with a lazy eye.
I was like, Hey, Derek!
Listen, I'm fully aware, we can just get this out of the way, that I'm what the Thor movies would look like if they were made by PBS instead of Marvel.
Like, I don't know why we're showcasing the midsection in the Midwest all year round. It's freezing here. We eat nachos out of baseball helmets.
We were so Indian, we started a call center.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to the stage for Of the Comics, Pat Treuer!
Welcome, everybody! Good evening! Oh, fantastic, everyone. Thank you for coming, and welcome to the first episode of the Comics. I am Pat Treuer, your host, and we are so excited. We've got an amazing group of performers here. Of the Comics is a new show, and we are combining clean stand-up comedy with an interactive roundtable about all things comedy, and we are going to perform that for you here tonight. Does that sound like a good time to you good people? Yes! All right, terrific. Well, listen, I'm fully aware, we can just get this out of the way, that I'm what the Thor movies would look like if they were made by PBS instead of Marvel. A few of you looking at me, you're like, no, Pat, you look like genetic engineers took the DNA from Barbara Streisand, Will Ferrell, and a golden doodle and put it into a 39-year-old man boy. I'm going to tell you something. If you had that thought, you might be right. And here's why. Because I was raised by a single mother who conceived me with artificial insemination. Yeah, that's not a joke. I wish it was every Father's Day. Let me tell you some fun facts about us artificial insemination babies. Something that I have, a side effect from being a product of artificial insemination, is that I actually have ADD, which you intelligent people already know stands for absent dad disorder. Right? Which means I'm easily distracted by any good-looking older male figure who pays attention to me. Like you, sir. What's your name? Trevor. Trevor, would you like a son? Sure. Yay! Fantastic. Listen, my mom's going to send you a massive child support bill. It's the most support I've ever had from a father figure in my life. Prior to being a comedian, your old buddy Pat, I was in the corporate world. And my job title, I was an international sales manager. See how I did that right there? I want to tell you something. Anytime somebody tells you their job title and wave their arm like that, it just means this is a load of garbage. I was really good at my job, not because I was hardworking, just because I had no problem following men into the restroom at conferences to ask for their business cards. And listen, I gave it all up for comedy. I had the career. I was very unhappy in life. When I would tell people in the corporate world that I was leaving to pursue my dream of comedy, everyone said, yes, Pat, that's amazing. You inspire me. I wish I could do what you do. And then I would tell veteran comedians that I had left a successful career to pursue my dream of comedy. And every single one of them said, terrible idea, buddy. But I gotta say, I'm doing pretty well with comedy, and I know that because every night I perform for 2 well drinks a night. All right, I am so excited. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a fantastic crowd. We're gonna bring our next performer coming out of Los Angeles, California. Please give a very warm welcome to Miss Angel Gates!
Thank you so much. Hi. First of all, I'm proud of myself. I am a survivor of the pandemic being single. Yes, it's a lot of us in here. Boy, wasn't that hard? And you know who was so disrespectful to us? Customer service reps. Yeah, they had no idea what we were going through. I had to, call and upgrade my Wi-Fi. He gonna answer the phone like this. Thank you for calling AT&T. This is Derek. How may I assist you? I was like, hey, Derek! Yeah! I'm good. I just wanted to, upgrade my Wi-Fi and everything. Like, why am I acting like this on the phone? I just do. I was like, I just want to upgrade my Wi-Fi. He was like, yeah, that's what happens when more than one device is trying to access the system. I was like, it's just one device, Derek. It's just one. Y'all, Derek is married and in Texas. Why y'all didn't tell me these people don't live in our area? And you know what I did? For him catfishing me, I stayed on the line and did that survey. Gave him the worst results I could think of. That's right, you're not gonna ruin my life, Derek, exactly. And I'm proud to say he works for Walmart now, yes. And then you guys are probably wondering, why does this lady need Wi-Fi so bad? Because during the pandemic, I found out I was an essential worker. I'm an elementary school teacher. Yeah, thank you. Most of you are clapping because you know we only make $400 a month. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And then we had to do the whole Zoom learning. And that was crazy, y'all, because it took prayers and affirmations and energy crystals for me to wake up in the morning and to look good from the waist up to teach 25 8-year-olds on a laptop. Do you know how tempting it was to just close the laptop and walk off my job? You know what I mean? Like, that's all I had to do. You get what I mean? It was so hard, but I can tell you this. The one thing I miss most about in-person teaching, I miss eating the kids' snacks. Thank you, parents. You guys send the best snacks, too. And my favorite, you guys send this called the Lunchables. Oh, yeah, I love the Lunchables. Listen, you take a Lunchable, and you pair it with a nice gas station wine, that thing become a charcuterie board. You see what I'm saying? Ooh, I'm fancy, yes. So you know what's great about teaching, though? We have the greatest trainings. And I had to go to training, and I learned that African Americans, we have our own language. And it is the most beautiful thing. I was like, I'm bilingual. I've always wanted to be bilingual. Some of y'all don't look like believers, but I'm going to give you an example. You know, like negation, in standard English, you only need one, negative to make the sentence negative. But in African American home language, the more negatives you put in the sentence, the more you change the context and the meaning of what we're talking about. Yeah, I'll give you an example. We have a sentence, standard English, you don't have money. Standard English, what that mean? You don't have money. African American home language, add another negative, change the whole meaning. You don't have money, add a negative. You don't have no money. See, that don't mean the same thing, does it? That mean we in the grocery store, you putting stuff in the cart. We get to the checkout stand, I'm looking at you, you looking at me. You don't have no money. Add another negative. You don't never have no money. That's the second time you did this, isn't it? You get what I'm saying? Add another negative. You don't never have no money no more. That's called unemployment. You guys have been a delight. I'm Angel Gaines. Thank you so much. Give it up for your host, Pat Treuer.
Angel Gaines, keep it going for her, everybody. Yeah! All right, we're going to keep the show moving. Our next performer, also in from Los Angeles, please give a very warm welcome, Miss Dana Eagle!
Oh, look at this. This is nice. This is good. Before I got vaccinated, everybody said to me, Dana, are you scared? Are you scared to be vaccinated? And I was like, I'm a gay bipolar Jew with a lazy eye. What's a vaccine gonna do to me? I grew up in New Jersey. We ate fast food with the hormones in it. No meat, just hormones. I went through puberty in second grade. I'm like, bring it on, vaccine. Show me what you got. I tell my family I'm anti-vax just so that I don't have to see them. Doesn't work. I should have known. I should have known that they would not be troubled by modern science because my mom smoked quit smoking on the day I was born. That's right, she quit smoking the day I was born. You got it. She knew about the dangers of secondhand smoke, so she thought she'd just mainline it to me for 9 months. And then growing up, everyone's like, Dana, you're so thin. And I was like, no, I am Virginia Slim. Yeah. That's how I got my lazy eye. This side of the room knows. Sorry, these things, I'm nearsighted too. Nearsighted means you can't see things far away, like happiness. People who are farsighted, they can see happiness, but only when it's just out of reach. Nearsighted, farsighted, very confusing terms, right? Very confusing terms. Whoever came up with that was very short-sighted. Sorry, I'm pretty happy. Though I was diagnosed with the bipolar disorder. Anybody else? If you're bipolar and you know it, clap your hands. That was great. That was awesome. We could compete against each other. We could go through all the diseases. Schizophrenic, that's fantastic. Try this. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little lithium, 4 little, 5 little, 6. My brother was so excited when I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. He's like, come on, let's go to Vegas and count cards. I was like, that's autism, you idiot. That's the wrong disease. Instead, he bought me a mood ring, but it died of exhaustion. I have bipolar 2 disorders, bipolar 1, bipolar 2, sequel, never as good as the original. Mostly it's a lot of depression, but a lot of people are suffering from the depression now. That's what they say. A lot of people are suffering. They did a study that said 80% of us suffer from depression. Where are you? 80% suffer from depression. The other 20% of you cause it. You know who you are. That's right. I love my meds, though. I can't wait till my pills are on Amazon and it goes, people who bought Xanax also bought. That would be great. I don't know. I guess probably because I had trouble, when I was growing up as a kid, my parents, they sent me to a gay conversion camp. Yeah, but it totally worked. I've been gay ever since. That's right. I'm an LGBT. Gay and tasty. We just keep adding letters to mess with you guys. We're like, screw it. We took all the colors. Why not the letters? Watch out, numbers. We'll come in for you next. So you took that very well. You took it much better than my family. Because I never know how to reveal that information to people. I don't know how to disappoint all you fellas. Okay, you guys laughed a little too hard at that. No, but like my gynecologist asked me, he said to me, what are you using for birth control? And I told him, girls. And he's like, that works. Actually, during the pandemic, I stayed on birth control, but just to remember what day of the week it was. Yeah, pretty good, huh? But I want to get married. I'm single. I want to get married because I'm getting older. I know I'm getting older because I just got my first piece of turquoise jewelry. And but here's the thing. I felt like once I came out, I thought picking up girls would be easy. I thought it would be so easy. I was like, men do it. How hard could it be? It turns out it's really hard, right, you guys? Oh, my God. And then women, we have to be really careful. Do you watch those shows, 2020, 48 Hours, Forensic Files? I know. I don't even clean up after myself anymore. I'm like, I don't want to disturb the evidence. I get so nervous when I watch those shows because they're always the same. They're always like, Amy was never late. When she didn't show up, we knew something was wrong. I'm like, oh my God, they're never gonna find me. They're just gonna be like, Dana was always late. So when she didn't show up, we didn't think much about it. But after about 2 years, we started to get suspicious. Yeah. My dad had some good advice for me, though. He said, Dana, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're gay or straight. Finding a mate is like finding parking at the mall. Sometimes you gotta just pull in and go, this is as close as we get. You guys have been a delight. Thank you so much.
There you go, buddy. Let her hear it. Terrific. All right, we're going to bring our next comedian on, a local here, a favorite of the club. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Vik Pandya!
Hello! I work in recruiting. Yeah. But here's why. Because I love giving people hope. And taking it away. That's the whole job. That's... I am Indian, and I love being Indian because we do all the same stuff, you know? Like, we celebrate the same holidays as everyone else. We just put our own spin on it. Like, for Thanksgiving, instead of going around and saying what we're thankful for, my family just went around the table and told me things I need to improve on. I remember one Thanksgiving was particularly ruthless. Why aren't you married? Why don't you have a job? Why do you still live with your parents? Because I'm 12, Grandma. Why are we having this conversation? You know, seems a little soon. The thing is, though, being Indian, you get out a lot of things, which is nice. You get a pass. Like, I remember when I was a kid, we had to swim for gym class. I don't know if you guys had to do this. And me and a bunch of brown kids didn't want to swim. So we forged a letter from a local mosque stating that we weren't allowed to swim due to religious Islamic beliefs. Yeah, we even included a phone number in the letter that the school could call to verify at the mosque. And we had kids cover the phone and take shifts. We were so Indian, we started a call center. And that's high level. Obviously nobody called. Could you imagine the stress of that phone conversation? The principal's like, hey, this is Mr. Razak at Hill Middle School up the street. Yeah, I'm just calling to verify. Do you guys allow water? I know during Ramadan it's like illegal or something. I wasn't sure, because you guys wear towels, right? Oh my God, I'm so sorry, that's what they're called. You know what, just forget I called, never forget I called. Let me forget I called. Oh Jesus, praise God, shalom, bye. So we got out of swimming, didn't have to do it. And the craziest part about that story is, I'm not even Muslim, I'm Hindu, but nobody checked. I'm like, whatever, same thing, get him out of here. You guys have been great. My name's Vik Pandya. Thank you so much.
Vik Pandya, everybody, huh? It's terrific. All right, we've got two performers left for the first half of the show. Are you ready to keep it going, everybody? Terrific. Please welcome to the stage right now, Miss Maggie DePalo!
Going for Pat, you guys. You guys, I'm so excited to be here. I'm a mom. I have 4 kids at home. I'm excited to be anywhere. I survived the pandemic with my husband and my 4 kids. I feel like that makes me a little bit of a hero. Any moms in here tonight? I thought I could smell the syrup on a couple of you guys. Nothing can prepare you for that much cooking and cleaning. Like, nobody told us for 2 years everybody was going to be at home. The best way I can describe being a mom during a pandemic, it's like a woman that works at a truck stop diner, like a really terrible diner. You know the diner where you walk in, it looks like the waitresses are working against their will. The food is bad, the customers are rude, but you can't quit because you have kids with the owner. That's what it's like. I'm turning 40 this year. I'm excited about that. I don't think thank you. No one even clapped. I was just like, thank you. I'm noticing like some small signs of aging. Like I have a couple gray hairs. I'm getting mad when people park in front of my house. Like, I'm not that old yet. Like, I don't have enlarged font on my phone, but I do write my name on my Tupperware. No, all the girls I work with, they're on all the apps. They're like, where can we learn more about you and your comedy? Are you on like TikTok or Snapchat? I'm like, no, I'm on my chart. I have 9 of those accounts. If you want to slide into my DMs, we could talk about my leaky gut and my brown spots. No, I feel like the hardest part about getting older as a woman is shopping. I don't know, ladies, if you've noticed, the fashion industry is no longer making regular whole shirts. Everything is cropped. Like, I don't know why we're showcasing the midsection in the Midwest all year round. It's freezing here. We eat nachos out of baseball helmets. Crop turtleneck sweaters, those are my favorite. Where are we wearing crop turtleneck sweaters? To like a family dinner? You're just like, hey, Uncle Pat, pass those potatoes. Check out my little tummy. Bathing suits, my God. Talk about bruising the spirits of middle-aged women. I was at a bathing suit store down in Miami. I was like, do you guys have anything full coverage? I might as well have been asking the lady if they had a payphone. She was trying to help me find my fit. She's like, where do you swim? Beach, pool, resort? I was like, lady, I swim near my uncle's. I recently moved to a new area where we don't know anybody, and twice now we've been asked if we're from Boston, which we're not. But 2 of our 4 kids can't say they're ours. At all. They'd be like, come on, let's get in the car and go to the park. And they're not toddlers. It's not cute baby talk. They're actually in middle school. It's like a problem. Our youngest son has it the worst. If he's trying to say fork, he's like, can somebody get me a fork, please? My husband's like, we got to take care of this. Which I did some research, and when kids get older, it's a lot harder to repair speech, and it's actually very expensive. It's like $10,000 per kid, which is expensive. But there are kids, so I do what's best. I got a couple Boston Red Sox sweatshirts, and now we're from Boston. You guys, I'm Maggie DePalo. Thank you so much for having me.
Give it up for Maggie DePalo, everybody. All right, real treat to have our next performer on. Please keep it going for Mr. Calvin Evans!
Hey, we beat COVID. Yeah. We beat it. By beat it, I just mean we're not afraid of it no more. Remember when COVID first hit, we was looking out our window every day like, it is outside. Look at it, it is out there. You get a package, don't touch it, leave it there, spray it, and then if it's there tomorrow, we can bring it in. Don't touch that package. I miss coughing so much. Don't y'all miss coughing? Don't y'all miss the I mean, don't y'all, some of y'all like, hey, we just got free. What are you doing? Stop. I don't even cough no more. I just elongate my cough. I'm like, you okay? I'm good. I'm good. I turn into spit. I'm not sick. Y'all realize COVID killed CPR? Ain't no more CPR. Somebody could pass out right now. We'd be like, that's crazy. He just died. He is dead. Is there a doctor in the house? Yeah, time of death, 7:45. He's not getting up. We can't help him. Best thing you can do for people nowadays is pump their chest like an air mattress. Like, yeah, he not getting up. Get him out, get him out. I did what I could. Get him out of here. I caught COVID, I was in denial. Oh, I was in hard denial. Hard denial. I was like the person in the zombie movie that got bit but didn't want to tell nobody. They just walking around looking at their arm. Oh, look at this one here. You okay? Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna go look for some supplies. I'm gonna look for some supplies over here. I broke down. I was like, I'm gonna take a test. If you never took a COVID test, this is how long the Q-tip is. Hey, how you doing? Not okay. What you finna do with that? That's what I wanna know. They don't put no line or nothing on the thing to be like, hey, stop right here. They don't, none of that. It's at the discretion of the person putting it in your face. They come in high. Ah! They took 2 memories out of my head. I'm not messing. I'm not joking. I don't remember being 7 years old at all. My family showing me pictures like, you don't remember going to Disney World? I'm like, that's not me, man. Get out of my face. I was 6 and then I was 8. Forget y'all. Oh, man. I didn't realize how much white people like dogs. And so I saw that viral video last year of that girl pushing a bear off a fence. Did y'all see that video? She pushed a bear off a fence to save our dogs. If you didn't see the video, it was like a backyard ring light camera, dogs playing in the backyard, and then slowly a bear slowly starts climbing over the fence. Now, if I'm in that situation, I'm like, hey, forget it. You in the guy's hands. I'm locking the door. I'll buy another dog. But she saw that, she was like, not today! And she ran and 2-hand pushed the bear off the fence. The bear was falling, but like, I'm a bear. Like, that's how surprised he was. You know how sad that walk was back to the woods for that bear? He walking, his paw shaking, like, yo, what just happened to me back there, man? I could have growled, I could have scratched, so many things. He get back to the woods, his bear friend's like, hey, where the dogs at? He's like, man, I was gonna get the dogs, right? And when I was climbing the fence, I slipped and sprained my ankle. And they're like, no, we saw her push you. What are you talking about? You can't hang with us no more. Go hibernate. Leave your fur here. That's how much people love dogs. That's how much dog people make some noise. Where my dog people at? Yeah. Okay. Well, my cat people make some noise. Where y'all at? Okay, that's what's up. All right. I asked that question about cats one time. Somebody booed cats. I was like, man, why you boo cats? He was like, they sneaky. Really? They sneaky? I've never in my life left my wallet around a cat, came back, and $25 was just missing out my wallet. Where's my money, cat? Hey, animals, just say you got a preference. I understand that. More people like dogs than cats because dogs make you feel love. You go home tonight, that dog see you, that dog excited. Tail wagging, make you feel love, make you feel needed, right? But cats different. Cats want you to want them, but they don't need you to want them. If you don't understand cats, you will never understand Kanye West. It is the most complex, it's the most complex thinking. I love cats. They're independent. I love them. They're independent. I know they're independent because I've never in my life seen a cat with a homeless person, ever. As soon as you mess your life up and land on the street, that cat like, you stupid. I'm getting out of here. Man. I'm gonna figure this out. Climb this tree. They gone. But you see dogs or homeless people all the time like, you gonna bounce back, baby, any day now. No, I believe in you. I believe. No, write the screenplay. Write the screenplay. You right, they wrong. I'm so hungry. Stupid dogs. You guys have been great. I'm Calvin Evans. Thank you.
Calvin Evans, everybody! Oh, I tell you, you guys are terrific. That's the first half of the show. All right, everybody, what do we think about that? Yeah? Terrific. Welcome to the second half of the show. So I'm going to start us off with one question, and then we're going to open it up to the audience. The question I'm going to start with, and I'm going to start with you, Dana, and this is for all of us, is when did you first get started in comedy, or how did you get started in comedy, and when did you first call yourself a comedian?
I was in musical theater. I was asked to leave, and I was actually on a tour of a show, and like after 4 months of being on a tour, they're like, you know what, you can't. I was in the only non-singing role, and they're like, you know what, you can't sing, and you're obnoxious to be on a bus with. Go try stand-up, and I did, and then I was like, this feels right, and I don't have to travel with all those people, so this is better. And I started calling myself a comic. Probably when my parents realized I'm not a lawyer, so or in law school. Or took the LSAT or anything like that. Yeah. Then it was like, yeah, I'm a comic. So, yeah.
Maggie?
So I started in comedy about 4 years ago. I took a class at the Lincoln Lodge here in Chicago. It's a FemCom intro to stand-up. And it's a 6-week course. At the end of it, you get like a grad show. You invite your friends and family, and then you get a clip. So it kind of just gives you the whole roundabout of what stand-up is and writing. And I got hooked, and I've been doing it ever since. When did I start calling myself a comedian? I think the first time I was paid for something, paid for a gig, versus just doing open mics and kind of hustling and practicing. The first time somebody, asked me to do something and was like, here's $4, which is what you get paid. I was like, this. I think that's when I started to use the word comedian or comic.
Once you get the money, that's a big step, because normally, I made the joke about the well drinks. Normally you go somewhere and they're like, we'll give you 2 beers. And that's your whole payment. And you've paid $40 in Ubers. You've been yelled at 8 times by people outside.
Yep.
And you've questioned your whole life.
Drove 2 hours. Yeah. Babysitters.
That first $4 you'll always remember.
Yep, exactly.
Calvin, you want to take this?
Cool. The first time I did comedy, I was in college. It's my junior year of college, 2006. Somebody told me, a friend of mine was like, hey, you funny. I'm doing a variety show. You want to try comedy? I was like, yeah. And I was going to flake on him. That's the plan. It was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then when he asked me, I just wasn't going to show up. But he followed up with me. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to be there. And I did the show, and that was like my first time on stage in front of like student body, or like friends and people I knew, and it just felt natural. And then like after that, it was like doing shows, like just hosting shows on campus. So that was like 2006, but I didn't consider myself a comedian because I was just in front of like people that knew me already. So it was like, that's just Calvin, you know what I'm saying? We'll laugh. He knows, I talked about stuff. Came back to Chicago, quit my job, started doing comedy. Even then, I would not say I was a comedian because people, if I told people I was a comedian, they'd be like, oh, when your next show? It's like, I don't know because I don't have any. I'm gonna be at a bar doing comedy if you want to just stop by. I don't know when I'm up. So it took until 2012. I had started kind of making my rounds in Chicago. I started working here at Zany's. It was a club on the South Side called Jokes and Notes, and I filmed like an hour of comedy, and I named it Comedian. Like, this is me coming out as a comedian. Like, I'm officially a comedian. I had 45 minutes of comedy, and yeah, that was my, like, 6 years before I called myself a comedian.
And that's a lot of time, 45 minutes. How long did it take you to build up all that material?
You know what? I haven't watched it, so I don't... No, like I'm saying, I haven't watched it since 2012, so I don't... It probably was just me talking. It could have been me just talking for... It was probably like 12 jokes and then like a bunch of like filler, but no, it definitely like that time, like when it's good and you got a good audience, like the time flies, but when it's bad, that's what makes you a comedian, knowing how to maneuver through, you know, the quiet times and the audience is just not connecting.
Yeah, that's so funny because I started calling myself a comedian like the first open mic. I created a Facebook page and everything. I had 6 people following that thing. No shows to speak of, no schedule, just like, hey, I'm out here. I had 42 pictures of myself as the cover photo. It was just all stitched together as like a mosaic. It was so awful. It was so terrible. Because I kind of, to the business piece, I think just working in like the professional world, I knew like half of this is like behind the scenes, right? Like half of it is perception, half of this is like like faking it till you make it. Really, that's what half of this is. So I had all that stuff before I had any jokes. so I did all that, and then I also I trained at Second City as an improviser, you know, when I started, and I was doing that and doing stand-up at the same time. But I always really wanted to do stand-up, so I'm like, let me do a little bit of improv to get comfortable on stage. Ended up really liking improv, graduated Second City's program, and then started producing my own shows and just working around town, kind of like Calvin was saying. And once I started working clubs, and I was like, okay, now I'm actually, once you have shows you want to invite people to, that makes you a comedian. Because there's a lot of shows we do that I'm like, you should not come to this. This is just for me. This is just, even me, I'm on the show, I don't want to be here. Like, I'm not telling anybody I was ever here, you know, like, because so many of these shows are just like Calvin was saying, bars, like really weird, you got to go out of town, and I'm like, this is not good comedy right now. But you need to do all that to get to shows like this where people actually came to see stand-up. So, yeah, it's been about 7 years now, and I'd say now my Facebook page is over 1,000 likes, okay? All right? We're growing. We're growing.
Like his page.
Totally see Vik getting headshots done.
Oh, yeah. Man.
he riding in his car with sunglasses on now in the nighttime. Well, my story is a little bit different. I wanted to be a singer, and I signed up to be in a talent show in college, and y'all know black people can sing, and they were rehearsing. The other talent was rehearsing to the side, and I don't sing that well, and I was like, I don't want to quit. I know what I'll do. I'll tell the host, introduce me as a comedian, because in the early 90s, they never gave you a chance. If they didn't know who you were, if they said you were a comedian, boo, like immediately, right? So I was like, that's a great plan. I get to the show, the host goes, okay, everybody, we want respect. This is a freshman. Give her a chance. I was like, no! What are you doing? And I got out there, y'all, and it was like, I just did Comedy 101, made a Michael Jackson and an R. Kelly joke. It was so bad. And the audience was looking at me, and some person, I wish I knew who they were, had the courage to go, boo! And at that moment, I don't know, it was like the Beyonce in me was like, no, you won't. And I just started going in on this, and the crowd is loving it. And then in college, you know how you have the activities coordinator. They were like, you were so amazing. George Wallace is coming next week. Can you open for him? I was like, yes. And that was my very first show, was opening for George Wallace. So I didn't know.
Must be nice, you know?
I didn't know I was supposed to like really be doing this thing for real. I just thought I earned my stripes because I dodged the booing. So I don't know. I was a comedian from there on out. So.
Yeah. Your old coach Pat up here. I was you heard I was an international sales manager. Yeah, international sales manager. I did that with the missus on our first date. That's where that came from. So stupid. But I always loved making people laugh. And I lived in Denver, and I went to their open mic program at Comedy Works, which is a phenomenal room. And I had 2 minutes, and I was 23, and I talked about what a 23-year-old guy would talk about, which is nothing you talk about, really, and for that no one cares about. And I did well. I got great reactions. It was the greatest night of my life. I did a second show, and I did 5 minutes, and it went great, and I immediately thought, I'm going to be the greatest comedian of all time. And like something to understand is like what I did not understand at that time is to develop your material, it takes a long time. It is a lot of thought. It's perpetual. It never ends. But I thought, I'm going to come with something fresh because I'm going to be the greatest, right? And so I came up with a new bit, and then my third time, I could not have tanked harder. And I fell off the horse for about 10 years. And so I did. I went into the working world because that's just what I thought I was supposed to do that. And then I got super unhappy. And so I just quit. I left that job. And it was tough. Like I would have meetings with generals of foreign air forces I would have their total attention. And then I was going to open mics where if you haven't been to an open mic, it's one of the worst things you will ever go to. I couldn't even get 22-year-old kids to look up from their phones, let alone the local drunk, to stop yelling at the TV. And they checked me down real quick, and it was actually Vik helped me out a lot, and so I just started going to open mics. And actually, it wasn't really until about 2 years ago when I really started calling myself a comedian, when I could actually start to garner an income and just be so happy about that to tell, I'm a comedian. Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, it is pretty cool, isn't it?
I like that Vik, like he came and did like an intervention, like we're gonna get you on stage. Like he fell off. He was like, I gotta get back to comedy. He's like, no, I got you. Vik. Come with me. I got you.
I know the way.
And honestly, it was so funny. This is kind of how it happened. He met me I was working this job at the time in the West Loop, like way far out west, and I was like, let's talk about this. Instead of going to like get coffee, we just walked from the West Loop all the way back to downtown. So it's just this like desolate walk, and I was like, look, it's gonna be real hard. I'm like, you're gonna want to quit all the time, and I was like, it was an interesting, like we just walked and talked, and then now here he is producing a show at Zany's, so worked out.
All right, now that we're started, I want to open up to the audience. So anyone in the audience want to ask any questions here? All right, you ready? Great audience member. What would you like to ask?
So I feel like anytime you get a room of stand-up comedians together, the war stories of bombing always come up. So what was the time that you bombed, and how did you recover from it?
Let me tell you about yesterday. No, okay, I was just...
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with this term. What is it?
I don't think I can't say it. Like I've never to me, bombing is relinquishing control of my performance to the audience. That's when you bomb, and when it's like, oh, y'all not laughing at that. Well, let me try to do something else. And at that point, it's just like, oh, you bombing because you're not at the reins of the performance anymore. The one time, I think the worst performance I ever had, I was doing a show, and I don't know what technical thing this is, but sometimes you're talking to a mic and it's like a second delay, and I have a problem hearing myself. So like if I'm talking right now, I can hear myself, that's fine. But if I'm like, hey, and then the mic goes, hey, it's messing up my rhythm. So I was doing this show and I was on stage. How y'all doing? So we and I'm just like, and like that was like every time I heard myself, I would stop. So it was like messing up my timing. And I'm looking at like the host who had a great opening set. And it just keeps happening to the point where I just like start like people looking at me like, what's wrong with him? Because all they hear is what they hear, but I'm hearing myself backwards, and I just had a terrible set to the point where I was like, after the show, people they was like walking out. It was probably like 200 people. They just walking out like they just looking at me like, man, what? Why was he here? But I'm also waiting to get paid too. That's like the worst feeling. Where it's just like, Can I just get my money so I can get out of here? I appreciate it if I can.
Your $4.
Yeah, my $4. Let me get my $4. But yeah, that's probably my worst performance.
So bombing is part of it, right? And I think, not for everybody up here. I think, so I played sports. You played basketball. I think the best way to describe like bombing is, or you have a great show that's like scoring the winning basket. When you bomb, it's like scoring the winning basket in the wrong basket for the other team. But I think that that's how it feels. You're like, I scored for the wrong team. But it's part of it. I think you have to go through it a bunch of times, and you still do. But it makes the rest of it, and when it does go well, feel amazing. Otherwise, you wouldn't know the difference. I bombed my worst show ever. I was 9 months pregnant. There was a show that I did out in Crystal Lake, which is 17 hours away from here, and I drove there. And there was 7 people in the crowd. I did a 10-minute set. Nobody laughed, and I was like, I just want to give birth on the stage so that that's what people will remember and not this terrible show.
So you got a bomb baby somewhere?
I got a bomb baby. I just had her. Her name is Crystal.
Yeah, bombing, it's like, that's a good way to say it. You do have to do it. Also, if you're not bombing once in a while, you're not like working on new material. You got to try stuff and say it out loud. Because a lot of times you'll write something, and then when you deliver it on stage, it comes out a little bit differently. Like the way you say things on a stage is different than maybe how you write it. So you have to kind of go through that process. But I had a particularly bad one during the pandemic. Like all the shows we were doing were so weird, right? They're like outdoor. They were kind of like in places that should not be doing comedy at all. And I did a corporate gig for this company, and it was a real estate company, and they're like, we're gonna go to Lake Michigan, we're gonna rent a boat, and we're gonna take our employees out on this boat. So this is also like the world is shut down. I was like, should you be doing this? Like this is they're paying me like a lot of money, so I was like, I guess I'll be doing this now. Like I'm just. So we get to the boat, and I thought like they rented one of those like Wendella like cruises, like those big boats. It's like a small boat. Like it's like a 10-person boat. So I'm like, where is the performance area, going on? And I'm also like, I don't see a microphone anywhere. I don't see. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna be bad. I'm gonna have to just yell, right? And I'm like, well, at least they're gonna like stop the boat, and we can. We're going 40 miles an hour. And the guy hands me a megaphone, like one of those you like a search party megaphone, And he was like, "Here, you can do your set now." And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But I did it, and nobody laughed because you couldn't hear anything. And there was also that delay going on because first of all, you're holding an intercom to speak into a thing. So it was awful. And then the worst was, so you bomb. You just can't, it just visually doesn't look good. Your face is all covered. So you bomb, and then we're out in Lake Michigan, so I can't leave. I just have to go to the other side of the boat until we get back to shore. Like it was 20 minutes of just sitting in silence, and then no one's making eye contact with you. You're like, I should just jump off this boat right now. I should just jump off. And then the best is we're starting to finally pull it. I'm like, all right, it's almost over. It starts pouring rain. I know. I was like, just Nickelback play right now and take me. Let's just end it. But yeah, that was probably the worst one recently in the last couple of years. It's bad.
Well, one thing I can say is that as a comedian, when you know that you're a professional, it's that you know where to perform and what to perform. And earlier on, I did not know those two things. So the two worst times I could think of would be, one, it was like a counselor's like type, I don't know, event or whatever, and I got up there and I was like, okay, who's in AA? Make some noise! And it's like, that's the what you cannot perform. Like, I didn't know about the AA culture, like it's all like anonymity and everything. And I'm telling people, go ahead, raise your hands. Who you at? Don't be at and they were like, oh my God. The second time, where, I I was feeling myself on college after I did the George Wallace show, and people asked me, can you do this, can you do that? And they asked me to do the 24-hour fundraiser for a sorority's dance-a-thon. And I was going up at 2:45 a.m. Imagine the sleepiness that came over them having to listen to me. Imagine them being like, oh my God, when is this gonna be over? And we're in this huge gymnasium where it's not even set up for stand-up. So it was like no one was listening, they were falling asleep. So a lot of it, you know, as comedians, when you become professional, if this is not the atmosphere, then you tend to be like, you know, I'm good, you know, because you're gonna set yourself up for a nice juicy bomb. So yeah.
Being at the stuck, I mean, I've never been stuck on the boat. That sounds special, but
That's one way to say it. Yeah.
certainly had like resorts and casinos, and you're kind of are like in the elevator and people are talking and they don't necessarily know that you're there. You just want to go, it was better the other night when you weren't there. But then the only thing worse than that is when you have like non-comedian friends that are come and you don't do a good job because they know that this is all you've been doing, you know, and they always try and make me feel better, but I could tell by their reaction because they always do this thing where they go, wow, I could never do what you do, and I'm just like, well, apparently neither can I. So.
They just look at you with those like sad eyes, like this is your dream.
Yeah.
Like,
Right. But my
Blame it on the
comedian
crowd.
friends now, I find, like, because a lot of us know, like, what each of us are working on and stuff, and so we'll be around the clubs and, like, talking to people, but if we hear our friend bombing, we'll be like, wait, I gotta go in and see this.
Yeah.
And a friend recently told me that he had his recorder out, and he had this new joke that he did, and it just died, just the whole joke died, and he said all he could hear on there was just me laughing.
I've definitely, we'll record our sets and you'll leave them and you know whose phone it is or whatever. I've definitely been like, you're doing so bad right now. I don't let them know it's me. Yeah. You brought up an interesting point when your non-comedian friends come. Do you get nervous when like the people close to you in life come to shows versus total strangers?
Always. Always.
Nobody come to my show.
like audience.
You still don't tell people where your shows are.
My only people that matter, like if I like do something like big, my parents will come, but on any average, because I do shows a lot, people just like, I catch the next, but it's never the next one. They never show up. Like I put this on my Instagram. If nobody's here.
Your whole family's here.
Nobody came. That's crazy. Who are you? No. That's my sister.
One quick bomb. I had the biggest bomb of my life like 3 months ago. And the thing is, I live in a small mountain town. And so I'm the only comedian. And my obligation is to do 30 minutes. I want you to take a second, just 1 second, and just imagine everyone in a room hating everything you have to say. Except for your fiance, who's laughing at how bad you're doing. And the worst part was that I had come up with a stupid Muppets joke that I thought was going to bring the house down. And she said, definitely don't do that tonight. And I said, no, I'm going to do it. This is going to be the greatest show I've ever put on by myself. I'm going to tell you, she was 100% correct. That feeling of when the words come out of your mouth, that every word you say, someone hates you more. I apologize to everyone at the show after the show. So bad, but then you just went to sleep, and I was like, all right, well, I just got to do better next time, and I definitely won't do that Muppet joke again.
I don't think you should ever apologize for doing bad, ever, because there's no guarantee. Ain't no guarantee in comedy. You know what I'm saying? Like, all I can do is, like, I can give you the best that I have. If you not rocking with it, I can't, like, this is what I got. You know what I'm saying? Woo! it's not food where it's like it tastes good, like funny. I get it's funny, but sometimes no matter like one person could be having the time of their life laughing, then somebody else just like I don't like, you know what I'm saying? So I can't apologize to the person that didn't like it. I just gave you the best offering that I had. You know what I'm saying?
But it wasn't the one person. It sounds like it was the whole time.
You're right about
So
that.
not only should he apologize, he should have threw a parade the next day.
No, he should have moved, dude. That should have. You can't go back. That's one big boat. I'm leaving that place, you know?
I just wanted to add that to the question about family and friends coming to see your show. It's hard for them to come see your show because we're doing the material over and over and over again. And I stopped inviting them when at dinners and things like that, they will be sarcastic about my punchlines. So they'll be like, oh, is this a charcuterie board? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, okay, that's it. Strangers from now on. Because, you know, we have to perfect our material. So it's harder.
Or when people are like, you did that joke last time. Like they think you're gonna have a hot new 20 all the time. Yeah.
And this is just for the audience. This ain't even a question. If somebody invites you to a comedy show, either go or don't. But don't ask 42 questions about the show. That's like my biggest pet. What time you go on? Is it a 2-drink minimum? Do you got to dress up? How do you get there?
Do they have food?
Do they have food? It's like look, either you show up or you don't show up. Just show up. Like that's it. I'm frustrated. Can y'all tell?
It's always right before your set. Hey, so they said they won't give me free drinks. I never told you were going to get free drinks.
Yeah. I remember, like, I headlined here last November, and I remember the questions I got on the day of the show. So I'm, like, preparing to do an hour of material. I'm, like, I'm trying to get focused. And then, like, 20 minutes before the show, it's like, dude, I can't get in. Like, I was like, bro, what? Like, what? Like, people are texting me, like, and I'm like, stressing out because I'm, like, I got to get people in. I got family, I got friends coming in. And it's the worst. Like, all the information, it could not be more clear. It is posted 1,000 times.
Don't make me send you a screenshot of our conversation that is one scroll away.
Yeah, don't do that. That's the worst.
I do want to ask one more. So, during the old pandemic, we did a lot of virtual shows. We did, which is amazing. Like, I had never met Angel. I had never met Kelvin. I had never met Dana. Basically, I got really good at meeting people on the internet. And that was a big shift. That's been a common question that people have asked is, how was it performing on Zoom? How did you adjust? So I want to open that up. Angel, why don't you start us off?
Well, first of all, I want to give a huge thank you to Treuer Labs for employing me during the pandemic with virtual shows, as well as my colleagues. You really helped us out a lot. Yes, for real. I've always learned to be in gratitude and give credit where credit's due. So virtual shows for me was a natural transition because I was already teaching on Zoom. So I was already familiar with the platform. And I was already familiar with the fact that everybody on here don't want to be on here. So I learned to be, really quick and, really, try to be more engaging with my energy and my attitude. But it now became more like you're the cool coworker in the, in the lunchroom cracking jokes. So it's really, comfortable for me. I don't really hate it. I kind of prefer it, I could have done this in pajamas and y'all would have never known. And I could have been watching Netflix on mute and you would have never known. So yeah, I really enjoyed myself. Dana and I work a lot on Zoom. You cast us together a lot.
Yeah, we do. We get cast together a lot, and sometimes after the show, we'll call and we'll just go through the whole thing and do a postmortem. But just because, we have nothing else to do during the pandemic. We have nothing else to do. But no, I liked it, and yes, I'm very grateful that you employed me. I wish you would have forgotten about the 1099, because that hurts. No, it's great. And then realizing that, when they're not always there, it kind of forces you to switch styles. I would switch more into a storytelling style instead of a set punch style, and that covers my whole range.
And people love when you make fun of you're the cool coworker. You're like, no, there's no repercussions for you. So you're like, oh man, your apartment sucks. Like you're looking at someone's, and everyone loves that. They're like, oh, his apartment does suck. We can't say that. And it is fun. The only thing that was really weird was like sometimes the shows would be at like 9 a.m., which is not conducive to stand up, right? They're like, yeah, come in and during like our morning meeting, like our all hands, you know, just like we're gonna tell everyone that they're getting a pay cut, and then you do 10 minutes like after that, so you never knew like what you were being thrown into, right? So you had to be like gregarious and happy. And I remember once one performer, I was on a Zoom show, she did her set from her bed. She was just laying down. Could not have cared less about this. But it was, the nice thing was you could do, 4 or 5 in a day, and like you could make money that way, and you didn't have to travel, no expenses, and so that was kind of nice. And like you were saying, it paid rent. It really helped during the pandemic.
And now gas is $6 a gallon.
I think so. One of my favorite parts about doing stand-up is when I like get in my car and I leave my house, and my family behind me. So no, I would say I did very early on. I think my first Zoom show was with you, Pat, and to your credit and to what you've built, it certainly kept people, to be able to afford anything. I mean, there was no money to be made. So tip of the cap to you for building that. And you guys, it sounds like, did a lot more, but they were certainly awkward. I think for me, it definitely tweaked kind of this new muscle of writing, right? Like, as you said, it was more storytelling versus, the 1-2 punch. So I enjoyed that. That's, for me, it was fun to and it was fun to be around other comics and laugh. And if we know anything, we all needed to laugh during those insanely dark, twisted times. But then when the show ended and my family was like right there, that was tough.
It was nice. Like, we kind of formed this virtual community. I've never thought I would say those words ever. And that was like the idea for all of this, was because we would log in 10 minutes early, make sure everyone's on time, just someone's paying us to do something, got to be professional, and we would just start talking. And many of us had never met, and then just start having a good time as a group of people who are all doing the same thing. And that was like, wow, I think we have something here. Kelvin, you did a great job at adjusting to Zoom.
Oh, thank you. And thank you again. I mean, I can't say it enough for myself and everybody, but man, what you created was and is, it's still going. We're still doing Zoom shows. It's amazing. And never met Dana, never met Angel. So it was like, this is our first time meeting. Like, today was our first day.
Real life.
Real life. But I think the only thing about Zoom is that it's the internet, so it's like always a 1 second delay. So I had to get used to like, I have to just keep talking, take my pause, and then keep talking. I can't, because if I'm talking, I'm like, punchline, and then y'all hear the punchline, and then I start again for y'all. Now it's a gap. So I have to learn how to just keep talking, keep being funny, and just, I'm literally in that square of your screen, just like be as animated as I can to like act these jokes out that I typically walk around the stage and do. So that was the only adjustment that I had to make, in terms of like timing. Time is everything. Like, now in front of the audience, I can tell a joke, y'all can laugh, y'all can come down, I can continue talking, but on Zoom, it's like, you gotta keep it moving.
Sometimes, like, we would be traveling, like, for live shows in states that didn't believe in COVID. So you'd be like, I was in Michigan somewhere, and then I had a virtual show. It was like 3:00, and I'm driving back to Chicago from Michigan, and I had to pull over and do the virtual show. So I'm like hotspotting on my computer, and I'm just in the back of my car in a parking lot, like, doing a show. And then I realized, I'm like, this looks so sketchy. Just a brown dude on a laptop in a parking lot, like planning a heist. Like, it didn't. But you have to do that stuff,
In a suit. Were you in a suit?
I was in a suit, of course. Yeah. So, yeah. Just the top half. Yeah.
All right, we got a few more minutes. We're going to open it up to the audience one more. You two both had. I'm just going to bring this over to you here. What would you like to ask?
First, I just want to say thank you so much for persevering through everything that you guys did to be here today, and for working through COVID. And your fortitude is admirable. Thank you so much. Second, this is just for you. On a scale of bombing on a boat to I have my own Netflix special, how confident are you in those socks?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know if y'all caught it in the back. Yeah, that confident to do that move, just with that flexibility. I was like, that's dangerous for me right now. But
I'm gonna tell you, the way she set that story up, I was a little concerned for your safety.
Yeah.
This question, Vic, is just for you.
Yeah.
I've been following you for years.
That's the 4th like on my Facebook page right there, dude. That's the 4th like.
This is her.
Day 1. Yeah. No, it's all about, I mean, I think for shows like this, you know, I don't always wear a suit. That's like a joke. But it is something that you realize the audience is looking at us like you're seeing the whole picture, right? Like you're not just seeing, it's unlike Zoom where it's just top up. So anything you can do to kind of sell the brand, sell the image. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm an extra person. I like extra stuff. So I was like, let's get some cool socks, you know? Why not? Yeah, there you go. Appreciate that.
That's your merch now too. You sell those.
Yeah. I'll be
get the gold
selling
chain as
my
well.
whole outfit after the show. Anybody? Else?
Anybody wear a 28 slim?
For the ladies.
Just tore me down right there, bro.
You got a good bill, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's a fun thing about comedy is what just happened is that a lot of times people who are not comedians will hear comedians talk to each other and they're like, you guys are so mean to each other. But it's like I'm gonna say love. It's just like the camaraderie of like, oh, we've been through these garbage scenarios. We all understand. And so like we're bombing, we're telling jokes to each other, but for me, it opens up a muscle in my mind of like, oh, that's actually, as mean as that was about my dead friend, actually, that's pretty good, so I should probably use that next time. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think just nothing is really sacred after a while because we've been through. Yeah, I think we don't have a lot of pretensions. Maybe is the thing that we just call it like it is, and but there does come a point, and I don't know exactly when it happens, where you sort of go, oh, I'm no longer suited to be around civilians anymore. Like you could sort of see people's faces when you make comments, and oh, that's for my comedian friends. I shouldn't be.
Yeah, when you start getting like you're at like a party and someone's telling a story, you're like, man, this is so long, bro. You gotta type.
Yes.
You gotta punch this thing up. You could have lost the middle. Like you start editing people's live conversations. You're like, I should probably go home. I should probably.
Well, I think what people don't really realize is that many comedians, speak for myself, we're introverted. And so, like, 9 times out of 10, I'm a wallflower, just observing and not really saying much, especially, before you perform. But when we are, like, at the end, you'll always have a comedian, I think, who has a bigger personality, who's, like, can make comics laugh, and we call those the comics. And they can just go on for hours and hours and hours. But our brains, I think, too, are just inappropriate. Like, we can be at a funeral. And write 9 jokes, right there. And I'm just like, why am I like this? You know what I mean? So I don't know if you guys feel that way.
I've actually done stand-up at a funeral home. So yeah. For the staff, it wasn't for someone's funeral, okay? It was...
In this suit. He had the suit on.
I did it at a
casket
fertility.
clean.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you was gonna...
No, I think I feel if someone's not, shooting the breeze with me, then I'm concerned. Like, I think when we're joking around with each other, that's like, as you said, it's like a form of love. Like, that's how we all communicate.
Yeah, and also
cool
comics, like we can be nice, but after a certain, like it's only like a couple, like 20 seconds, and then it's like we gotta say something funny, like break the tension. Like we can't have a genuine moment, like it's gotta be taken away by something mean because we're all so like we need that attention constantly. So there's something about that where it's like you can take it, even if you guys were complimenting us, like we gotta make a joke to like deflect. There's always that little piece of us that needs to do that.
I'm not insecure, but but no, like the joy of like talking to comedians is because nothing, like you said, nothing is like sacred, and it's like we don't have like boundaries. There's no boundaries in conversation. It's like, oh, we speak in terms of comedy, like it's the top of our brain. Like I'm trying to say the funniest thing. A lot of comedians, we're very smart. You know what I'm saying? Outside, intelligent. Maybe not book smart, but we're very intelligent. No, I'm just saying, like you have to be smart. Like you know what I'm saying? Like to be able to to be able to thread an entire room full of people that aren't from the same background. and to be able to have like a line of thought that everybody gets it. Like you have to be intelligent to do that, you know, in terms of a comedian. But to be talking to another comedian, it's just like, oh, my brain is working overtime because it's like, oh, you might be thinking something, you know, you 2 steps ahead of me, so being 2 steps ahead of somebody in the conversation, but also talking to people that don't have like, oh, I'm sensitive about something. It's like, oh, we can say some real messed up stuff, but it's also like, oh, that's funny. But you know, we do. Believe it or not, we do know what a line is in terms of like being inappropriate.
All right, we got 2 minutes, and then we got to wrap this up. So something we always do. We did the show virtually. I always want the comedians to share. If you saw them, you like them, you want to hear about what they're doing. Angel, let's start with you. Where do they follow you? What are you working on?
Okay, cool. So, I'm Angel. I'm a Libra. My number is... I'm just saying, you know, because women in comedy have to plug in that I'm looking for a man, child, because they always forget that. Okay, so, anyway, Instagram at The Angel Gaines. Follow me there. All right.
Yes. Vik Pandya, Pisces. You can follow me on all social media at Vik Pandya. I'm dropping clips from my headlining set here in November every week on TikTok, and then also dropping them on Instagram. So all new content, stuff you haven't heard before. I'm on the road a lot. I'm gonna be in Fargo, North Dakota this weekend. Yeah. So I'll be there, and then. Okay, it's not the Comedy Cellar, but we're all trying, okay? We're not all Angel Gaines, all right? But then the next week I'm going to be in Utah. I'm filming a special for Dry Bar Comedy, so I'll be doing that. Yeah.
Calvin Evans, you can follow me on Instagram at Calvin Evans Comedy. My debut comedy album dropped February this year. It's streaming on all platforms, so y'all can check that out. If you want to see me, I'm here every single Saturday. Most Saturdays, I'm here every Saturday. I host a late night showcase. It's called After Hours. I play the piano, and we have like a great showcase of comics that come through from around the city, and sometimes, you know, visiting the comics. So every Saturday night, 11 p.m. After Hours. Here's Amos.
You guys can follow me on my chart. I'm I'm on Instagram at Maggie DePalo. I also produce a show in the western suburbs, All That Good Stuff. We are at the Elm in LaGrange, if you're a western suburbanite, twice a month. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And I think that's it.
I'm Dana. Oh,
that's it.
Dana Eagle on Instagram. I switch off now a little bit more between writing and performing. So I just worked on the Oscars. No, I didn't write that joke. And I don't know who did, so don't ask me. And I'm working with Wanda Sykes this week, and awesome. And then I'll thank you. I'll let her know. And was that the whole question?
That was the whole question, Dana.
Okay.
Dana Eagle, yeah. All right, everyone. So now we're gonna clap our hands a lot. First of all, you were a tremendous audience.
Yes,
give it up for yourselves. Thank you so very much. Keep it going for Zanies. They did a great job for hosting us. And now, one at a time, for Miss Dana Eagle, Maggie DePalo, Kelvin Evans, Vik Pandya, Angel Gaines. I've been your host, Pat Treuer.